Hey people, what's up? Good evening. This is Dirty Talk 101. This is where we talk to the bold. The stories unfold from the young to the old. Nothing's off limits to be told. It's your girl Carlucci, and as always, I'm here with my girl. What's up? Essie!
Effie, aka Tornado Head, I'm gonna keep your head
spinning. And as always, it's your girl Carlucci. You know you can talk to me about your coochie. I'm gonna always keep it Gucci. Whoop whoop. We got a lot going on tonight. I want you to just go ahead and jump on into it as usual.
Yeah, buddy.
So, I know there's been a lot of crazy things going on. One of those crazy things is the moon. So, what are you going to tell the people today about what's going on with Miss Luna up there?
What's that, girl?
I know you was going to tell me something crazy about the moon today. I know that it was a full moon. We just came off of one.
Yeah, girl, yesterday over the whole period of time, we got Mercury in retrograde right now, so it's getting crazy out here. It's going, I believe, until July 12th, and it's just, it's going to be a lot of just craziness, a lot of bickering. You're in a relationship right now, hold on tight, because, it's about to get rough. And, for me, it's just so crazy because, like, every full moon I noticed when I used to be in a relationship, I was, like, right before the full moon, I would always get, like, real angry, and I would just go off on people. And I was like, if you're in a relationship, just understand, like, the full moon brings a lot of hostility with it, And for me, I always start my period, like, right on the full moon. I'm like, dang, is there something wrong with me? So
that means you're synced up. Every 28 days, that's when the moon gets full, and so that would make sense that, you come on your menses every 28 days, and you're in the cycle with the moon. That's actually beautiful. That's perfect.
I don't know. I thought something was just like, I knew, like, okay, there's a rhythm to it, but I was just like, why is it always the full moon? Like, what's up with that? Like, is there something to that? So I looked up online to see, like, what is it to that? And there's, like, so many things came up, of course, like, all these explanations. Like, some of them were cool. I was like, oh, okay, I like that explanation. All right. Like, one of them was like, oh, in ancient times, I knew you were a goddess. I was like, okay, I like that. And then there were other ones that were just like, no, that just means, like, you're in sync with nature, and it's, some people, like, actually try to get their periods to link up with the moon. And I was like, wow. So they go out and they, like, hike in nature. And if anybody knows me, I love to hike. I'm always out in nature. So it would only make sense that my fucking period lines up with the moon. So I am, like, clockwork. And I get horny around that time. So it's no wonder.
Wait, isn't that normal, though? Isn't that normal? I feel like that's totally normal. I feel like most women, or, I don't know. I guess I can't speak for all women. I guess I can only speak for myself. But, like, I feel like right before your period, you get, like, super horny because it's, like, the week before, aren't you ovulating or whatever? So it's, like, and then if that, like, egg doesn't get used, then that's when you get your period or whatever. But, yeah, I always get super horny right before my period. Girls, if you guys are listening right now online, you guys are in the chat room, I want to know who else gets horny right before their period. Well, it's actually a lot of hormones and stuff are being released and a lot of pheromones. I've heard that, like, you go through cycles with your cycle during the month. Like, you'll have times where you are more attractive to men, or, like, you look prettier, your skin is better. And then you have times of the month where it's just like you're like a flower, where you're, like, not at your prettiest stage. You're, like, kind of wilting back before you bloom again. So
for sure. So I guess that's where the whole freaks come out at night comes from. When the full moon come out, people always like, oh, the freaks is out. It's like, yeah, because it's a fucking full moon, so you already know.
Freaks come out at night. Freaks come out.
I actually stayed in the house, though. I was like, I'm not doing shit. I'm staying in the house. I wanted to go out and see the Ring of Fire, but, we can't even see it out here in Nevada anyway. It was only, like, in Africa and in Asia, like, those areas, so.
The Ring of Fire? What was the Ring of Fire?
That's where it was, like, the eclipse. It went over the sun, and so it made a ring of fire around the sun, so, like, that's all you could see of the sun. So it was like almost like a Harry Potter moment or Game of Thrones type of like something you see in a movie, basically.
Damn, that sounds sick.
You can see it online if you looked at the pictures, and people said it was a very rare sight. So I was like, damn, I wanted to see it, but I was cramming. I was in the house. I was like, no, I'm not going anywhere.
You were just sheltering in place. Well, I mean, since we're talking about like celestial.
Huh?
Well, I was going to say, since we're, like, talking about celestial bodies and, like, how the sun and the moon and the stars and everything work. And,
but I didn't get to finish. I didn't even get to finish. Like, you're supposed to, like, have sex when you're, like, on your period, though. Like, because you're horny, you're supposed to masturbate, girl. You're supposed to have sex, you're supposed to masturbate. I was like, dang, where's my toy? I need my toy. But, yeah, they say have sex. Have lots of fucking sex. They say, fucking, if you do that, it takes away your cramps, girl. It relieves headaches. It fucking, it increases the sex drive. And it's a natural lube. Blood is a natural lube.
Okay. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I've always been one to be like, throw down the towel if it's that serious. Throw down the towel.
Yeah, that's what people do. They just throw down a towel. You've been in a relationship for a while, people just be like, throw down a towel. I tried to one time or a couple times maybe try to get like my man to do it when I was in a relationship, and he was just like, not having it.
Really?
Not doing it. I was like, really?
No, you know what? I always think that they're so. No, I always think that they're so gross because they always like want to do it when you're on your rag. I mean, like, I don't care, but I'm just like, really, like right now is when you want to do it. Whatever. I don't turn down the D. I don't turn down tacos or dick.
Yeah. Well, guys and couples that like to do that, it's like a fetish thing, I guess.
Really?
And there's a name for that shit, girl. They call them bloodhounds.
Oh!
So you are a dog. You're just a bloodhound dog. That's what you are.
A bloodhound dog. I never heard of that one before, but do you know what it's called when they like to go down on you when you're on your period?
Girl, no. What is that called?
It's called them earning their red wings, because when they come back up on their face, they got wings. Red wings.
How that tastes? How your Bloody Mary tastes?
I mean, like, hey, I guess if it's good even then, huh? I don't know.
Have you ever had a Bloody Mary? I'm going to ask the next dude that I talk to. I'll be like, have you ever had a Bloody Mary, and are you a bloodhound? He goes, if you're not, I can't date you. Okay? You got to be all in, or I just can't do it. That's it, that's all.
That's it, that's all?
That's it, that's all.
That's it, that's all. So you're not with, wait, you are with it or you're not with it?
Not with it. You have to earn your red wings, and you got to be a bloodhound. You got to be all. You want it all.
She said you gotta get in la sangre. The sangre is the blood. So in Spanish, so you want them to get up in there, huh? I'm not mad at it. I think you should get it on at any time, as many times as possible.
Love all of you, blood and all.
Right. So I guess you could do that like on the full moon. With your period. And do you know right now we're actually in retrograde as well?
Yeah, that's what I said. Mercury in retrograde. That's why everybody's arguing right now.
Yes. So, well, yes and no. I mean, they say it's a time where like your communication boundaries are like up or whatever. So when you told me that it was Mercury retrograde, I had to go do my little homework and like figure it out. And I actually came across an article by Nina Khan. And basically, she says that with Mercury in retrograde, it basically affects everything in your life, from the actual magnetic field of the planet, to your sex life. She says that Mercury is not one of the major sex planets, but that it seriously affects our ability to communicate, and that is what affects our relationships. She says that when Mercury is in retrograde, that you should try to definitely tune in and tune up the communication with your partners, because it's super easy to get into misunderstandings and arguments because of the influence that the planet being in retrograde has on you. So, basically she says, make sure that you're prepared anytime that the retrograde comes around with its murky energy, because it gives off a lot of confusion and can like really mix people up. So don't make any harsh decisions. You're not supposed to make any harsh decisions during Mercury in retrograde. So like if you get pissed off at your boyfriend during Mercury in retrograde, don't break up with them. Just don't call him back for a couple days. It'll probably pass.
Just tune out.
Yeah.
Tune out. Get out. Stay away from everybody during that time. That's what I do.
That's probably a good idea. So, people do make hasty decisions, though, when it comes to love. I don't know if I would call it hasty or not. But did you hear about well, like I said, I don't know if I want to call it hasty, but like, did you hear about the secret, rendezvous that Raven-Symoné has going on right now?
Aw, she had a little secret wedding in her backyard.
She did, right. And so, I mean, I don't know if anybody was even checking for Raven-Symoné or if they were like, what is your sexuality? I know that she's definitely thrown... Yeah, she's definitely been throwing a couple of vibes, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe people did, maybe people didn't know. She's probably definitely earning her red wings, because she got married to a woman recently, and like you said, in her backyard. Yeah, she was quoted as saying... Yeah, that she says, I got married to a woman who understands me, from triggers to joy, from breakfast to midnight snacks, from stage to home. I love you, Mrs. Perryman Mataday. Let's tear this world a new asshole.
Honestly, I was really wondering this question the other day for people, for women that are studs. I mean, they got a pussy just like I got a pussy. And I'm like, that pussy, I don't give a fuck if you gay or not. That pussy quivers after a while. Like, that pussy needs some action after a while. That pussy needs something in it after a while, okay?
But, I mean, they have things for that. Have you never heard of a strap-on? Or have you never heard...
So, yes, I have. So that's what I'm saying. Do they take a strap-on in? So they take a strap-on in?
I mean, I know that a lot of my lesbian and gay friends definitely like to use strap-ons. And from what I hear, it gets the job done. They even have ones.
They use strap-ons?
I mean, I don't know if Raven herself is using one, but I would imagine.
Like, what's going on? Like, you can't be always the giver. Like, what are you getting in return? Like, what's going on?
I mean, some people like to be the giver, though. Some people just like to give, and they're not even aware. Have you never had a 100% giver before, Essie?
No.
Oh, no. Wow. I believe everybody needs to experience that at least once in their lifetime. Yes. Where it's just all about you, and it's not even anything about them, and they make you feel like it's all about you. You never had that, girl?
I mean, I've had that, but of course they want something in return. I've had it, but if they could get something in return, they would love that shit.
I mean, but how do you know that she's not getting what she wants? You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, a woman's pussy needs something stuck in it after a while. Okay, like.
But like I said, they're sticking something in it.
Nothing being inserted in it. So, like, I know you're a stud and all. There's something that's got to go in that motherfucking pussy. So what's going in the pussy? Hole.
Dildos, fingers.
Exactly. You need that dick. That's what I thought. You ain't getting it. Ain't nothing else gonna get it but that dick. I don't give a fuck if it's plastic, glass, or real.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to put it on my list that we talk to some real lesbians so that you can get the answers that you need, because I feel like I'm gonna be getting a whole bunch of hate mail being like, Carlucci, why'd you let Essie? No. I'm sure that our friends in the LGBT community could definitely school us on some ways to get the friction on.
Because, the males get off both ways. So that's why I said I know what they do, but I don't know what the females do. That's why I need to know.
Okay, well, there are lots of instructional videos on RedTube. And Pornhub. I can probably send you a couple if you.
Essie's curious. Y'all might have to leave these men alone. I'm gonna have to leave these men alone because they don't be wanting to act right, and they don't want to. Women are more consistent than men. Men are never consistent in any fucking thing. I'm just kidding.
So, well, I don't know. I've actually thought about that. I always say, like, if my relationship doesn't work out, that I might.
Always thought of that shit. So anyway.
Well, I think I might switch teams. I don't know. Have you ever thought about switching teams?
Nah, I ain't thought about it. I just messed around. I ain't never thought of that shit. I love men too much. Sorry.
I mean, I love men, but I don't like their bullshit. I have definitely thought about switching teams a couple of times.
I love how women are very more intimate than men are. I love how women think about things that men do not. Like, women they're so much more genuine than men, and they listen, and, they're so much of a better person than men are, period. I love being around females that are genuine more than I would want to be around men, because men just always got something up their fucking sleeve.
Well, a lot of women do feel that way. I have definitely felt that way before in the past. I know that's why a lot of women say that they prefer like an age gap, whether that be an older man or a younger man. Usually depends on the girl. I would say that in most of the time that it's a younger woman with an older man. But in your opinion, what's too old and what's too young? Like, what's the age gap that you think is acceptable? Like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years?
Okay, so, like, Marcus Houston, he's 38 dating a 19-year-old. That's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Like, I would never, he's close to my age. I would never date a 19-year-old. I would never date, that's too much of a gap. Like, the youngest guy I would date, I would say, is the last one, 22. So I'm not going any younger than that. I have talked to somebody younger than that to see where their head was, because they were very mature. They were 27, but they were very mature. But I didn't date them. I just talked to them to see where their head was, and that was it. But to actual date, I haven't gone any younger than 32. I just can't. I can't go in. I have to stay at least in my age bracket.
I don't know.
And I almost regret going as young as 32. But he was able to keep up with me, and he didn't. I feel like the older men, they're just always set in their way. So it's just hard. It's really hard out here. It's just, you kind of, I just play with it and try to see,
Well, a lot of people are giving Marcus Houston slack about this because they're saying that basically he's too old and he's robbing the cradle and that she's too young. There was also allegations flying around saying that he actually knew her and had relations with her before she turned 18. So, I mean, I don't know where's the limit though of where it goes from robbing the cradle to just having a younger partner.
He's way older, and he was like she just got out of high school type shit. It's like you're way older, your mind frame, where you're at in life. You're way well advanced mentally than her to be. You are rocking the cradle, like. We get it, y'all in love, but you got her at such a young age. You know what you're doing. You know what I mean? When I'm talking to a younger guy, I know I've got him before he's been corrupted. So it's like, you've got him firsthand. You're getting him before the world has a chance to turn their fucking brain upside down. He knows what he's doing. Of course she's going to be in love. She has not seen anything else. You're giving her the world before she can see the world,
I don't know. They're getting married, or they did get married. Which one was it? I think they did get married. They're already married. So at this point, they are married, and that is his wife. So due to that, I will just say that I wish them.
Well, that's fine. Let her be happy, live in her happiness. They'll be divorced by the time she gets to probably 25. She'll realize she missed something. After they have a couple kids, maybe, she'll realize.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't know. He might knock her up first, so it's like, then you got to do the whole kid thing.
And then, time progress, they'll start getting arguments. She'll start changing. She'll start transforming into a woman. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And she'll start realizing she had aspirations and stuff, and she got blindsided. And then she'll start saying, she'll start transforming into a woman that, and she'll have desires and shit, and she'll realize, she'll see. That's the thing. Like, he got her before she even transformed. Like, she ain't even a real woman yet. She's still a baby.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think that she's super young, and I think like he's definitely rocking the cradle or whatever. But he's sticking by it. He's defending himself. He's basically. He's basically saying that he met her in 2018 through a mutual friend, and that I don't think it matters either, because it's like if he has a daughter,
it's a problem. Because,
what?
Look. He's my age, and I got a daughter that is her age.
Right.
Put that into perspective. Like that's not okay.
Yeah, he's our age, and he's dating this 19-year-old. He basically though used the excuse, and he said, that Maya and I didn't start dating until she was an adult. We fell in love and we got engaged.
Older than her.
Right. We fell in love when we got engaged in March 2019. My dad loves her, and the people that I'm closest with love her as well. But most importantly, we have Jehovah's blessings. So, I mean...
She's going to say that. And of course she's going to say that, because you've given her, like I said, you've given her the world before she could see the world. You're the first, you stopped it before she could see it.
It definitely has something to say. So,
let's see how long it lasts. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how long it lasts. Some people fall in love right out of high school. Let's see if it lasts.
Well, I mean, there's other like things buzzing around it. Like some people were trying to say, I guess, in a news station, MTO News had alleged that the girl was a runaway and that she's actually been missing since she was 15. And there was other speculation that
we saw a girl.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess, basically. It's super dirty. So I hope he gets his life together. I hope that they have a good marriage together, and I hope that some of these things that people are saying are not true, but definitely not a good look for Mr. Houston over there. I'm not with it. You know what else is not a good look? Speaking
What?
of things that are not a good look, it has something else to do with the man. Oh goodness, oh men. But I guess there's a man out there who is allegedly not claiming his baby, and that man is no other than Jay-Z.
Crazy.
Yeah, have you heard about this?
Yeah, man. Be
So
careful. Watch you wait just going to say something. She should have said something way sooner, man. I don't know.
Well,
Dummy.
well, according to the young lady, she says that she's known her whole life that Jay-Z was her father, and that she had been told by multiple sources, but she didn't feel the need to like come forward or come, speak out. That she actually just wanted to have a personal relationship with him, and she basically says that she reached out to Jay. Did she reach out to Jay-Z? So somehow Jay-Z became aware of this person, and he basically denies it. Although the young lady looks very, very much like him. The childhood pictures look similar to Blue Ivy, and it's just, I mean, I don't know. I'll post the pictures later on of the girl. So if you guys are interested in that, you guys can go on and check it out and see, and you can make your own decisions. But yeah, supposedly Jay-Z got kids out there that he is not claiming. This young lady is just one of the slew of people who claim to be Jay-Z's children. There was also another really high profile case that came out a couple years ago, where there was a little boy involved. So I don't know, Jay-Z, if these are your kids, get your kids out the street.
Yeah. Get the kids up straight.
Get your kids out the street, sir. So a lot of people actually wrote into me about that. Didn't you have some people writing into you too? I mean, your stuff wasn't about the Jay-Z
Yeah.
stuff. You had somebody else writing to you about another situation, right?
In honor of Father's Day, actually, I had a father email me in. He listens to the show. So he shot me an email about a situation he's in. Pretty crazy situation. So I said, well, Father's Day in honor of it. I will talk about it. And so I wanted to have a fellow podcaster that I know come on our show. No other than Mr. Terrence himself from Vegas Heights Media.
Okay.
World.
All right, so we're gonna be talking to him about the email, or about his advice on the email.
We're gonna get his opinion as soon as you get him on the line. We're gonna get his opinion about this email. Where's he at?
Okay, all right, I'm with it. So he is going to
call him up for us.
Yeah, he's supposed to be on my line. I don't know what's even going on here. Let's see if this works. Let me see.
Can you get him on the line?
Voicemail. Let's try him again. I don't know. Yeah, so if you guys want to check out Terrence, that is where you can find him. And thanks again for coming on the show again.
The man's world. Yes.
Well, speaking of it being a man's world, is it really a man's world? Is it a woman's world? I don't know. I don't know. They on the one hand they say it's a man's world, but then they say we got pussy power. So I don't know. Maybe we should talk to a relationship expert, somebody who knows about these things. I definitely feel like that was the layman's version of what you should do to handle, a domestic dispute. Carlucci does not condone the violence, though, so I want you guys to talk it out. Our next guest is actually a health and wellness coach. He is a relationship expert, and he just wrote a book. And I want to bring him on. His name is Lee M. Williams. Lee M. Williams. So let's try to give him a little... right? Let's give him a buzz and see if we can't get him on the line. He recently wrote a book, and what his book is about is basically it's about relationships. It's about, like I said, health and healing. He has like this whole thing going on, which I want him to tell you more about it, but he calls it the gems of divinity. Yeah, I love that. I love that that name or whatever. So, let's try to get Lee onto the line and see what he has to say. I don't know. I always find it interesting when people have that drive to kind of go ahead and do the damn thing and push through and like be a good leader to other people. Right.
Please leave your message for 7029459.
I don't know why we keep on getting to the VM tonight. That is no bueno. We're gonna have to do something to beat that number out though too. He's slipping on his something. You didn't answer your phone. All right, let's see what we can do. Let's try to get him back onto the other line. Let's see if I can't make it happen some kind of other way. Essie, you gotta help me out with these things. You know I'm horrible at this. I'm trying to get Mr. Lee on the line, but it is not going as planned. Safe sex and
Paycheck.
Thanks everybody for joining us as always on Dirty Talk 101 Vegas. It's Essie and your girl Carlucci. We are out. Thank you so much for listening.